and welcome to your day 2 of moving through Pilates. So this is your free 7-day challenge, and we are going to kind of pick up from where we left off yesterday. So the moves that we did yesterday, we started standing and we started to kind of transition down towards the floor into more kind of supine exercises, which is those classical mat work exercises. We're going to continue running through those today. So what we're not going to do is recap those. And the hope is that by kind of like day 6, we will be doing a full beginners class with modifications. Day 7, full beginners class with some slight progressions. So what I want you to do is just come towards the front of your mat. I've got 2 props here, and this is just so that you're aware of things that you can use for your head when we're lying down on our back. You can have a pillow or you can have a block. It's up to you, depends what you've got in your home at the moment. Alright, okay, so if we can, we're going to bend that right knee, bringing it down, using a chair if we need to, bending the left, sitting it down, and swinging those legs around. I'm just going to move my pillow. Like I say, if you need it, then you use it. Okay, sitting tall, hands on the backs of the thighs, starting by mobilising through the spine with those roll-ups from seated. Resting those feet where we need to. Legs slightly straighter this week if we feel comfortable, but if not, then we can just keep them bent for today. Breathing in, lifting up. Elbows wide. Breathing out. Keep that posture. Pull the belly button back. Breathing in to lift. And breathing out. Constantly drawing the belly button back for keeping the spine where it is. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Wrapping that corset muscle that we talked about yesterday. Wrap it around from the back. 1 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, take those arms up. Breathing in. Breathing out, pull the belly button back. Really lengthen the back of the body, chin towards chest, just halfway. It's not even halfway really, kind of just a quarter of the way. Breathing in and breathing out. Round the body and then sit up tall. Breathing in, breathing out. Pull the belly button back, lengthen the back of the body, squeeze the knees together, just slight nod of the chin in towards the chest. Breathing in. And breathing out, round the body, keep pulling the belly button back, and then straighten. Good, we're going to go a little bit further. Breathing in. Breathing out. A little bit further if we can, kind of towards tailbone. Breathing in. Pull that belly button back, shoulders are staying relaxed, hands can go around the thighs if they need to. Breathing out. Reaching it forward. Dive the head towards the knees, but remember, keep the space between the chest and the thighs, and then roll it up. Breathing in and breathing out. Now what we should be feeling here is that little, like I mentioned yesterday, that little earthquake. Breathing out. We've got to lengthen the back of the body as much as possible, pulling the belly button back. And again, this might still be challenging for us, so we just want to work where we're challenging our body. We're not putting it into pain, reaching up. A little bit further, breathing in. Again, take those hands on the backs of the thighs so we don't feel comfortable with that, because what we're going to look towards is coming down towards the lower back. Breathing in. Reaching those arms forward. Breathing out. Rolling up. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in to hold. Keep those legs down and reach those arms forward. Breathing out. Good. Breathing in one last time. If we can, roll all the way down. Keep those feet heavy. If we need to, bend the legs, bend the legs. Nice and slowly, peeling through the spine. Head resting down. Alright, so your trousers out, because that is definitely known to be the loosening of the trousers move. So set those feet flat. Very, very quick kind of review of where the spine is here. So hips, nice and natural. Just be aware of that kind of posterior tilt and anterior tilt. Make sure that we can feel the back of the pelvis on the floor. It's not sit bones and glutes, it's not lower back, it's somewhere in between. So we're going to breathe in and take a few pelvic tilts here just to feel that. So just like we did standing yesterday, we're going to do it on the mat here. We're going to breathe in, tilt the pelvis forward, allow the water to tip forward, hip bones to get shorter. As we breathe out, pull the belly button in. Keep the hips relaxed, glutes should be soft, we should be squeezing them to tilt the pelvis under. Breathing in. And breathing out. Shorten, wrap around, tie your dressing gown belt. Breathing in. Sorry, I've got a really blocked nose every time I lie down. Breathing out, pull the belly button in. Ribs soft as well. Notice if the ribs are flaring. Again, if you want to, and if we're struggling to try and find out where that breathing needs to go, place the hands on the rib cage, and every time you breathe out, you should feel almost like the rib cage and the carriage of the ribs gets smaller. Good, breathing in. Breathing out. Alright, find your midpoint, your natural position. Hips nice and heavy, ribs nice and heavy. We're going to breathe in, take those arms up towards the ceiling. And breathe out. Now, what I want us to do is lift the arms up. Now, you might need to turn the palms in. That might feel more comfortable. And what I want us to do every time we breathe out is allow those shoulders to melt onto the mat. Breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out. So as we breathe in, you want to feel that the shoulder blades are rounding. Keep the head down on the floor. And we're reaching the hands up to the ceiling. Breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in. Nothing moving in the middle of the body. 1 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Alright, keep those shoulder blades where they are. Turn those palms towards the knees. Breathing in, take those arms up and overhead. Do not allow those shoulder blades to move. Again, if that means that those arms don't come all the way to the floor, keep the space. We can work on that. Remember, shoulders are an extension of the back, but what we want to avoid is opening the rib cage. Undo all that work. Breathing in, breathing out. Down to the outside of the hips. Breathing in. And breathe out. Again, you don't have to be dramatic with the breathing. It's just so that you can hear. Breathing out. Breathing in. If we're ready, add that curl up of the chest. Breathing in. If we're holding too much tension, go ahead and leave the head down on the mat. Breathing in. Hold the belly button in. And remember that we want the spine to get long. It's not about crunching everything at the front of the body up together. Breathing in. 1 more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, lovely. Rest the head down. Now, we looked at the 100 yesterday. We're going to look at some different kind of abdominal work here today, and just to tailor onto the end of that 100. So we're going to breathe in. Place those hands on the hips. Rib cage, hips steady. Breathe out. Lift that right leg up to tabletop. Remember, tabletop is knee directly on top of the hip. Breathing out, taking it down. Lightly tap the heel or the toe onto the mat. Keep those hips square. Do not allow those hips to drop towards the right. Breathe out. Breathing in to lower. Out to lift up. Now you're going to continue here. And what I want you to focus on is that the pelvis, the abdominals are keeping nice and strong and still. Things that might happen when we come to do the single leg work is that the hips might drop to the side. The hips might also drop forward. So you've got 2 directions that the hips could potentially drop. So it means that we have to really take this nice and slow. We really need to stabilize using that midsection of the body. Remember, we're not using the abdominals, okay? Not in that kind of really tension way. We really want to try and access that nice strong power from the back of the body. Down and up. 2 and 1. Good, taking that down. Other side. Breathing in to prepare. Out to lift up. In to come down. And out to come up. In to come down. And you're going to keep going. I'm going to turn that music down. Keep going. Breathing out to lift up. Remember that those hips can move. And yes, you know, we might have already done this exercise 1,000 times if you've done Pilates before. And it's all about refining those details. Good, 2 more. Breathing in. Last one. Alright, you're going to go ahead and leave that left leg there. Now, if you want to, what we're going to think about doing is lowering that leg and continuing but alternating legs. Okay, if we can, what we're going to try is lifting both legs up. Now, if your back is sore, your abdominals don't feel strong enough to support the weight of the legs, then just do this single leg version. Okay, so continue with what we've just been doing, but alternating one side each time. If we can, breathing in to keep that leg where it is. Breathing out, draw the belly button in, lift that right leg up. Notice that the abdominals hopefully haven't moved. The chest hasn't lifted to the ceiling. We then breathe in, take that first leg down, which will be my left. And then breathe out, take that second leg down. Breathing in to lift that first leg, draw the belly button down. Breathing out, lift that second leg. Breathing in, lower that first leg. Breathing out. Good, 2 more. Now keep those hands where they need to be. If we can, we're going to take them down by the side of the body. And we're not going to apply any pressure. We want to make sure that the tension is away from the shoulders, away from the neck and away from the chest. We just want to push it as far down into this kind of midsection area. Good, lovely. Fabulous. Great, and rest. Alright, extend both legs out along the mat. Extend both arms up and over. And what I want you to think about is what position you feel like you'd like to do your 100 in today. Okay, so yesterday we had 50 on one side, 50 on the other. And you can do that if you would like to. If you want to, we're going to try both legs. Okay, and it might be that you make it for the first 20. It might be that you do the whole thing. Okay, so just trying to test what position we're comfortable in. So if you found that this position was challenging yesterday, then go ahead and do 50 on one side, 50 on the other. If you'd like to, we're going to breathe in, lift the leg up towards tabletop position, breathe out, draw the other leg up, and we're going to squeeze the legs together. Okay, if we are comfortable, however, you can take those legs and have them hip distance apart. Just be aware that as we get tired, we will forget about those feet. So if we need to, place one down and then change it. Okay. Tap those hands towards the knees, breathing in to take the arms all the way up and over. And if we can, bring those arms down by the outside of the thighs. Now if we're doing the double leg, we're going to do just a few with the head down, and then I'm going to leave it up to you as to whether you're going to hover your head away from the floor. Okay? So we've got lots of variations here. Single leg, 50 on one side, 50 on the other. Or double leg with the head down, head lifted. Breathing in to lengthen through the crown of the head. And reach. We're going to breathe in. And out. And in. And out. That's 3. And out. That's 4. Good, if you're doing one leg, change sides, out. 3 more. 2 more. And out. And 1. And out. Hook the knees in towards the chest. And set those feet flat. Taking those feet slightly wider if you need to. Just taking a nice rock from side to side. Good, lovely. So now, hopefully, we've kind of tested the waters a little bit with that double leg variation of 100. If you haven't, don't worry. There is plenty of time for you to do it. It's quite a difficult exercise to try and keep the body still. Because again, we're moving the arms from the shoulders, but they are stable and they're staying still. So it's really difficult to avoid moving the whole body. So just work with where you are right now. Good, lovely. Setting those feet flat. Okay, so we looked at kind of a single leg circle variation, but we're going to look at some different leg work today. So bringing that right knee in towards the chest allow the pelvis to curl under, just for now. Okay, allow your hip to take a little bit of a stretch and just rolling through the foot. If you want a little bit of an extra stretch, you can lengthen that left leg along the floor. Good, keeping the breath steady, changing the direction of that ankle circle. Fabulous. Great. And then keep that ankle still and just bend that left leg again. We're going to flex the foot and take that leg ever so slightly out, back to that tabletop position. This is our starting position. We're going to extend that leg straight out towards the diagonal, and it should be in line with that back knee. We breathe in, slight pull in, breathe out. Keep it in line. We breathe in, slight pull in, we breathe out. We breathe in. Your foot can do whatever it wants. Breathing out. We breathe in, tap the knee. We breathe out, extend the arms just up towards that diagonal. We breathe in. We breathe out. Good, if we can, we're going to think about taking those arms and that leg a little bit further away. Breathing out. Finding that full length. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good, 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. Plug that knee back in. And place that foot down. Alright, so a few things that could be happening there is that as we start to get more dynamic, the hips are moving. So keep the movement slow. Again, make sure that your breath is nice and long so that you can allow that movement to be slow. Main focus for our beginner mat work is working on stabilizing and strengthening the middle of the body. Okay, so if your hips and your shoulders are wobbling around and your spine's moving around, take it slow and keep the leg higher. As we get stronger, we can take the leg a little bit lower. Let's bring the other knee in towards the chest. Again, just allowing it to relax. Good, lovely. When we're finished with those ankle circles, let it relax. And bend that leg back in. Breathing in to set that up at tabletop. And then press it out. Again, you can do whatever you want with the foot. Point, flex, breathing in. Allow the knee to come in, but do not move the hips. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Nice, lovely. If we can, take those arms up and over that leg a little bit further along the mat. Tap the knees as we breathe in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Just bring the knees in towards the chest and set the feet flat. Okay, so after that, we're going to look at doing a slight different variation of this. So this is kind of going to lend itself in towards single leg stretch, and it's pretty much in preparation for that, the exercise that we just did. So we're going to look at a single leg stretch. Now normally what you would do in a classical mat work is you do some seated work first, and then that would kind of get the middle of our body nice and ready to go. But because we're doing a slight modified version, we're going to have a look at doing it right now. So you're going to bring your whichever leg, it doesn't matter, but I'm just using my back leg so you can see. And you're going to bring your back knee in. So I'm bringing my left knee in. And I'm just resting ever so slightly, fingers on the tops kind of my shins, not my kneecap. I don't want to hold the kneecap. So just the tops of my shins. The reason for that is it allows the arms to stay open and it gives our space between the chest and the thighs. But then we're going to bend and extend the other leg up to the ceiling. Now remember, single leg circle doesn't have to be straight, okay? In an ideal world, what we're aiming for is we're going to aim for that leg to be down in line with the hip, not hovering, just ever so slightly on the floor, and definitely not on the floor. So taking a nice hover there just allows the pelvis to kind of work in the abdominals to build strength a little bit more. We're then going to breathe in and breathe out. We're then going to breathe in. I need to move my trousers around and breathe out. So what we're thinking about here is not pulling the knee out to the side. We want to keep that tracking across the knee and the hip. Breathing in. Good. We're going to do a little bit quicker. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Remember, legs can be high. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more each side. And out. Last one. And out. Hook the knees in towards the chest. And we're going to gently roll yourself up. So single leg stretch is something, excuse me, that we're going to continue to work towards because it does allow us to kind of improve our rolling series and also our rollover, which is something that hopefully we'll get to before the end of these 7 days. We shall see. So, sitting tall. Now this is where your props may come into handy. So if you know that you struggle with the flexibility of the backs of the legs, then what I want you to do is elevate your hips and sit on a pillow or 2 or a block, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Okay, so what we're going to do is glue those legs together. We're going to take the arms across the chest for our spine twist. Okay, breathing in to lift up tall. Keep that there and pull the belly button in as we twist around and we look over our shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, breathing in. Now things that can happen here is that we can round and sink into the pelvis. We want to try and keep it nice and lifted, even if that means that we have to bend the knees. Okay, other things that may happen is that as we twist, we lift the hips up because we don't have enough rotation in the spine. It's okay. It's not really a challenge to have the best rotation than anybody else. It's just about finding some slight improvements for you. Okay, so if you lift your hip up, you're kind of cheating yourself out of a good exercise. So what I want you to do is really just twist and rotate to where you can right now. And breathing in, breathing out. If we can, arms are going to come out. Breathing in, arms are in front. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, last time, breathing out. Alright, good, lovely. Take those legs hip distance apart, if not slightly wider. I've kind of gone mat distance. Alright, so spine twist and spine stretch are 2 exercises that combine together and make an exercise called SOAR. So we're going to look at that exercise today. We're just going to do a few spine stretches first. So hands can either rest down on the knees, if we can support the arms up in front, directly in front of the shoulders, then please feel free to put them there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a few repetitions here and then we'll lift those arms up because you do have to dive the head through the arms. Okay, so feet classically are flexed, but allow them to relax if you need to. This is not about reaching the toes. It is about, again, because of the name, stretching the spine. So really focus on drawing your belly button back. Lift the crown of the head all the way up towards the ceiling. Ribs closed. Breathing in, shoulders down. Breathing out, reach those hands and dive the crown of the head forward and out. Pull your belly button back. Now as you see, it's not about folding your calf. If we can, reach past the ankles towards the toes. Breathing in. Breathing out. Roll it up. Breathing in, forward. Breathing out to exhale whilst we're down there. Breathing in, sit up tall. 2 more, breathing out. Roll the belly button back and lengthen it around the spine. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, breathing in. If we can, reach those arms forward, flex those feet, breathe out. Reach the hands up towards the diagonal, pull the belly button back. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time, breathing in, breathing out. Good, breathing in. Alright, give your legs a bit of a shake. So, keeping those legs where they are. We're going to combine now our spine twist and our spine stretch. okay, for sore. So we're going to break it down into little pieces. So I'm going to think about what the spine does first with some assistance of the arms. Okay, so this is where left and right gets confusing, so I'm going to try my best. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to breathe in, twist towards, I'm twisting towards my right. Okay, so what I want us to first focus on is what the hands are doing. So as we twist to the right, you'll notice that for spine twist, your left hand would slide along your left leg, your right hand would come towards your hip, and that's just natural. Okay, twisting towards the other side, left hand comes up towards hip, right hand goes down towards the leg. And you can feel, you can get a little bit of extra tension and twist if you press that long hand along the other leg. Good, breathing in, breathing out. Now, where sore differs is that before we go into the sore part of the motion, when we twist, instead of that left hand being on that left leg, it's on the right leg. So it gives you a little bit more twist around. Okay, so breathing in through the middle, hands towards thighs. Breathing out, both hands towards the hip that you're twisting towards. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. Alright, breathing out. Let's put the spine stretch part in. Whichever way you're twisting, you're just going to place your hand behind you for support. Alright, now the main focus here is the spine stretch. So it's not about folding forward, it's not about getting more twist, it's about maintaining the amount of twist that you've got whilst keeping the hips down. And that does require you to again draw the belly button back, so round and through your back. Keep both sit bones down, keep them grounded. You're going to just look over your right shoulder. Now this will make sense later on. We're going to slide that hand down the outside of the thigh. Now this hand may move and that's fine. Sliding it down, keep looking towards that back hand. Pull your abdominals back and you reach either towards the knee or towards the ankle. Now the reason it's called sore is because it's a slightly more dynamic move in that you have 3 sores of the ankle, or again, if we're here, 3 sores of the knee. So we have breathe out. Again, keep those hips down. We breathe in, back to that spine twist, breathe out, other side. We slide that hand down, we look towards that back hand, we pull our belly button back, we breathe out, out, out. Breathing in, back to spine twist, breathing out. Breathing in, and out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. 3, 2, 1. Breathing in. Good. Breathing out. Okay, lovely. Rest those legs there. Now continue with those motions of the hands. If we want to, let's start to add in a little bit more of an arm variation. So again, stay with that version if you want to. Make sure that doesn't matter what version we're doing, those hips are staying down. You'll constantly think about maintaining that twist, drawing the belly button back, and that allows you to reach forward, not because you've lifted the hips away from the floor. So always remember that, keep it precise. So if we can, we're going to breathe in, take those arms out towards the side. Breathing in to prepare, out to keep the posture. Breathing in, twist. You then place the hand down, slide down as we put our thumb down towards the floor. The reason for that is just to protect the shoulder. Yeah. We then go out, out, out. Breathing in through the middle, find that spine twist, breathing out. Breathing in, we go out, out, out. Breathing in, we breathe out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Now you're going to continue. Now you'll notice it's just one cycle of breath. If we're struggling with that, take 2. One more time each side. Keep thinking. Find the lift and the space between the hip bones. Breathing in. And breathing out. Alright, good, lovely. Rest it off. Just take a little shake of the legs. You can have a little massage around if you need to. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back, but this time we're lying down on our side. Okay, so this might be again where you need a little bit of assistance. So the traditional kind of way of doing this, and the way that we're going to look at doing it, is with our arms extended. When we get to more intermediate and advanced, we'll have our kind of elbows up. But for now, we're going to lie that arm down. So if you need to, you're going to place a pillow underneath the ear and kind of directly on top of that shoulder. Now, the best cueing that I can give in terms of placement for your body is kind of with the help of the mat. So if you don't have a mat, it's fine. We can find different ways to do this. So just to let you know that that arm is kind of up towards, if we can, that top corner. So I'm lying kind of in the middle, but it's up towards that top corner. Now, in an ideal world, what we'd love to do is be able to line ourselves up with the back of the mat, with our hips, and also with our arm. Okay, but I'm aware that lying in a straight line poses balance problems as well. Okay, so if we can, align your upper body with the back of the mat, and align your hips with the back of the mat. Place the pillow wherever we need to, and then what we're going to do here is bend the underneath leg. Now, there's lots of different variations to this that can make it easier and slightly more challenging, so I'm going to work through them now. The arm is nice and relaxed. What we're going to look at for the hips is making sure that the hips are stacked directly on top of one another. So if someone was looking from above, they would see that you hadn't rolled forward. Okay, and you can feel it. As soon as you roll off that hip bone, you can feel it. The work becomes less, or it becomes infinitely more challenging if we're on the hip bone. So making sure that we stay on that hip bone. Now, the underneath leg, the foot is going to be down near the knee. Okay. Another important thing to obviously focus on is what the spine is doing. So if we just sink, you might find that there is a lack of space underneath the underneath side of the rib cage. Now, sometimes people seem to think that when we come to a side lying position in Pilates, we have to lift up, and you don't. Okay, just like that corset muscle wrapping around from the back to the front to support you on your back, it's exactly the same here, but we just want to focus on a little bit more on the underneath side. Okay, so I like to kind of imagine, your middle of your body is kind of like a drawstring bag, in that when you pull it together, it gets tighter. Okay, so we really want to try and visualize that. So as we draw the front of the body in, we also draw the underneath side, the top side and the back side, and everything just draws in. You can even think about pelvic floor lifting if you want to as well. Okay. Right, so once we're in that position, the supporting hand is also quite important. So the supporting hand, if we creep it up by the face, it just means that the shoulder's going to be by the ears as well. So if we can, somewhere down near the belly button. The leg that is lengthened along the mat, if we can, we're also going to have a feel for the end of the mat as well. Again, you can take a look, but it doesn't mean that you're displacing the posture that we've already set up. So just try your best to see if you can get that leg straight down in front of you. If balance is something we're struggling with, you're going to take that leg towards the front of the mat. Okay. So once we're all set up in our position, again, we'll set up like this on the other side as well. We're going to breathe in and breathe out, draw everything in like that drawstring bag. Good, lovely. Keeping that gentle tension, we're going to come into a side lying single leg lift. So what I want you to do is place that opposite hand, or place the hand that you're not using or lying on. You're going to place that hand on the hip. So if we can, we're kind of going to make like a phone with your hand. And place your little finger on your hip bone and dig around for your rib. Now, what we want to avoid here is that gets smaller, because as soon as that gets smaller, it means the underneath side gets longer, and it means that we've displaced the spine in our posture. So keeping that where it is, we're going to breathe in to lift, and breathe out to lower. Good. Keeping that space, breathing in, and breathing out. Good, lovely. When we keep this space, it means that we're stabilising the spine and we're working those muscles to support the spine. Breathing in. Once you feel like you've got that space and it's staying nice and still, you can place that hand on the floor. If you feel like your balance is actually alright, then you can take that hand and rest it down on the hip. Good, lovely. Breathing in to lift. Out to take it down. One more time, breathing in to lift. and out to take it down. We'll start to feel tension in the hip, and I'm going to encourage you to stay there. Breathe in to hold. Supporting hand can go back down if it needs to. We're going to breathe in, small circles, breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in, hold it there, reverse the direction. See if you can really focus on squeezing the hips back, again without moving the pelvis. Breathing in, and it's small, you should be feeling that lovely work in the hip bone. Breathing in, one more time, breathing in, and out. Good, lovely. If we need to give ourselves a little bit of a tension rub, just to give yourself a little bit of a well done for getting through that, then just give it a little bit of a rub, a little bit of a rest. Okay, so now that we've set up for that single leg circle and we've done our single leg lifts, we're going to look at our single leg kick. So supporting hand is just going to rest down for now. The pelvis can move. Okay, so breathing in, and I'll explain that in a second, because the pelvis can move but the spine can't. Okay, breathing in to lift up, out to hold. Now, what I want you to think about is that your leg is sweeping forward on a coffee table or something. What we want to avoid is dropping that leg down, especially as it gets heavier. So breathing in to sweep it forward, breathing out, sweep it back. We're going to breathe in, sweep it forward, breathe out to sweep it back. Now again, what I want you to try your best to do is squeeze your leg back as far as you bring your leg forward. Again, biomechanically, I don't really think it's possible without the spine moving. Breathing in, flex the foot to breathe out, bring it back. But what we really want to find is that extension through the front of the hip. We've done a lot of rounded work today. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice if your underneath side is staying strong. If you can take the supporting hand and just place it on the thigh. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, lovely. Bring it back through center. Resting it down. Give yourself a little pat. Alright. We're going to bring ourselves up to side bend. Okay, so these are just hip lifts in a side bend position. So now we're going to bend both legs. Things that are going to line up with the back of the mat. You've got your elbow, which is directly underneath your shoulder. You've got your hip bones, and you've also got your feet. Okay, so depending on arm length, you might need to move that arm a little bit further away. Okay, so we're just going to look at what the spine does and what the arm does today. Maybe we'll add in a hip lift as well. So keeping the body nice and still, almost like a rocket shooting out of the crown of the head. We're going to keep the space between the ear and the shoulder. Breathing in. Keep the space. Slight drop of the ear, but again, the ear doesn't drop down towards the shoulder. Keep the space. Breathing into the rib cage of the side that's opened. Breathing out. Good, so you'll notice there's a small kind of lateral flexion in the upper body, but knees and ankles are staying glued together. I'm going to take that a little bit further. We're going to breathe in. Send the hips away. Create that big arch underneath the body. Keep the ear away from the shoulder. Breathing out. Good, lovely. Just one more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Alright, we're going to do 3 more here, and if you can, you're going to hover the hips. So, keeping the spine where it is, we're going to breathe in, press the knees together, press the feet down into the floor, and take a small little lift of the hips. And then breathing out. Nice and small. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Alright, lovely. We're going to change sides. Swing yourself around. We've got our side lying work on the other side. So that is our single leg lift, single leg circles, single leg kick. Alright, set yourself up at the back of the mat. And again, the way that you need to set yourself up is entirely up to you depending on the version that you're doing. But if we can, what we're going to do is line our hips up with the back of the mat, also line your underneath foot up with the back of the mat, making sure that that foot is glued to the knee and that lengthened leg is along the mat as well. Supporting hand resting down, making sure that we can feel that hip bone on the underneath side, making sure that the foot is nice and lengthened. Side facing, so that means everything needs to be facing the side. Hand can be wherever it needs to be. Breathing in, breathing out, draw everything in as we lift. Again, remember, hip, rib, making sure that that's staying still. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Once we've figured out that space between the hips and the ribs, place the hands down, or again, keeping that arm lifted on the hip. Breathing out. 3 more, breathing out. 2 more, breathing out. Now you'll notice that my leg is just going to hip height or slightly above. You don't want to go too crazy with it. Hover and hold. 4 circles forward. Again, place that hand down if you need to. Opposite direction. 2 more. Alright, we're not going to take that rest again. If you need to, rest the leg down. If not, hand supported, breathing in, scoot forward. Breathing out. Again, remember the pelvis can tilt forward and back, but as long as you don't let the spine go with you. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep it small to begin with. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Final one, breathing in and breathing out. Good, lovely. Bending the legs in, give yourself a little bit of a pat. Okay, our final exercise before we transition up to standing. So bring that elbow down, hand in line, knees stacked, feet along the mat, hips also connected to the back of the mat as well, and chest side facing. Breathing in, small spinal movements, and breathing out. Breathing in. Building up that endurance on that support and shoulder, making sure that we're not sinking down and lifting up, so we're just staying lifted the whole time. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, and a little bit more lengthening of the spine. And breathing out. 2 more, breathing in. And breathing out. Last one, breathing in. And breathing out. Okay, press those feet into the floor, keep those knees down, breathing in to lift. And out to take it down. Again, if it makes more sense for you to breathe out, do what you need to do. Breathing in. Well, last one, breathing out. And breathing in. Alright, lovely. Bring yourself up to a 4-point kneeling position. Now every classical mat work finishes with a roll down to push up. So what we're going to do is set ourselves up into a box position, but slightly lengthen it out. So instead of your knees being directly underneath your hips, they're slightly further away. Do keep your shoulders directly of your wrists though. So 1 push-up, that's all we're going to do, just 1. Okay, we're going to gather all of the strength that we found in the middle of our body, and that will support our push-up. It's not all about having strong arms. Okay, so breathing in to lower as far as you can, breathing out, press up. Alright, that was just our practice, so let's do 1 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, lovely. Tuck the toes, keeping the legs bent, walk those hands back to the knees. When we're ready, a little bit of a dynamic push onto the feet and bring our weight onto our feet. See if you can stretch out through the legs and keep those hands lightly touching or fully flat. Breathing in, breathing out. 1 more time, keep pulling the belly button away from the thighs. Breathing in This time as we breathe out, roll ourselves up to standing. Keep that weight forward. Stack the hips, ribs, shoulders, and then the head. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. 2 more. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Okay, lovely everyone. Well done. So today we have visited supine, seated, and now side lying. Okay, so hopefully we feel like we're starting to learn just a little bit more about the precision and the concentration required for our Pilates mat work. And see you all tomorrow.